So I made the tough decision to destroy this board. Renovate it. Renovate it, not destroy. And there are a couple of reasons. One was these kept coming up, and the bigger reason was it was cracking along the edge, so I could see the mint green through the slats like this one. Another one is there were some gameplay issues. I would have a miniature over in this area, and I'd want to like skirt around and put it in this spot instead of going through the door, which isn't probably legal, but it was a big enough deal for me to be like, you know what, this isn't working as far as gameplay is concerned. This building, although it looked really great as a centerpiece, we're going to be reworking that one too. So I had a solution. I've been live streaming for the past couple weeks, and I've been building what I think is probably my best build so far. So I painted it in this video. I've edited down the live stream to be watchable and not take 4 hours to watch. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. There's going to be really exciting things coming up, so stay tuned.
I'm going to be building this out of foam core, popsicle sticks, granny grating, and then I also 3D printed some windows. Throughout the whole process here, I used a miniature for scale. You can see it there. The STLs for those 3D printed windows are on my Patreon for free. I didn't use a template, so there won't be a template this week to download, but I do have one that's really similar to this that I'll be linking in the description if you're interested or you just want something as a reference to start with. This time I did something new where I actually started putting damage in before I built the whole structure. Usually I tear it down after I build and block in all the shapes. So that was a new experience. But I do think it came out pretty good, so I'm not mad at it. It was just a new way of doing things. I'm one to try new things often because you don't know if you're doing something in an inefficient way if you don't try a new way of doing it. So that's kind of my mindset whenever I build anything. So I'm using some plastic packaging for the roof, and I use this on a lot of my roofs, especially on the speed builds, because then I don't have to do shingles. And then I'm using some plastic straws, bendy straws, for the gutters. I discovered this pretty recently, and now I just have to put it on every build because it really bumps it up to the next level. You can see on the top there's some fencing or some bird deterrent or whatever. I don't know the proper word for it, but that's just some granny grating I cut into look like a fence, and I've 3D printed and 3D modeled shapes for that, but I didn't have any at the time, so this is a fantastic alternative if you'd like something like that. So I recommend this a lot. So for the flooring here, for tiles, I used some aluminum squares. There's a machine at my job that punches out little register marks, and so I use that for the flooring here, as well as some chipboard, and I'm using a 0.125 chipboard, inch wide chipboard for this, and it went really fast, and I might start making this a standard as well, because this was a really fast and great way of doing it. Now I'm gonna prime it. I usually prime in a black, and then I do I would say bad base coats, so that it kind of comes in cloudy. They're not solid. It allows the paint to kind of soak in some spots and become splotchy. And I use that to my advantage because this is a ruined building. The stucco is going to absorb paint differently. Actually, speaking of the stucco, I accidentally sprayed too close to the foam, and it stippled the foam core underneath it, and I didn't do it on purpose, so I'm not going to pretend like I did that, but it's a fantastic stucco texture, and I just really, I think it was great. So yeah, so that was unintentional, but it was a really great. And now I'm just doing the wood as a red, just to kind of give a little more color to the board. I saw on a Mordheim terrain, it was an official Mordheim terrain tutorial book. They painted the wood slats green. My roofs are green, so I couldn't do that, so I just chose the opposite color, red, and it makes for a really great pop of color, and I do actually like it a lot. So I don't know, it was one of those happy accidents again that kind of made this building such really interesting to look at, and different than all the other builds I've done. My favorite thing is variety. I commonly say that it's my favorite flavor. I always try something new, and I would recommend you guys do the same, because new is always good, and that's why I would recommend it. So now for all the metal pieces, I'm using a bronze gold, it's a dingy gold, and I mix green in it loosely, so that some parts are more green, some parts are more gold in certain areas. And to be honest, this became a little too gold for me, so I might go back and add some more green later. But it does help to, if everything's corroded, it doesn't look great. So I was trying to go for the more gold look so that the corrosion would stand out more. So that was the intention, but I do think I need to add a little more green to the roof. So now I'm gonna paint my first ever interior. So I used the tan for the walls, and then I'm gonna go in with a black mold kind of wash, and this is just speed paint, black speed paint and water. I don't know if this is essential, but this is what I used because it was within arm's reach. And it did add a really good mottled texture to kind of hide my crappy base coat and kind of accentuate that this is really dingy, and I don't know, is it more scary to go into this building or stay out? That's kind of the idea anyway. So I did a base coat on the wood with a brown, and then I went to the tan for the tile and kind of wet blended it together around the edges with that brown again. And then I just dry brushed the wood with another tan. So now I'm just adding some stripes to act like maybe there was some wallpaper here, and I just kind of, wherever there was a splotch, I skipped that part, and I think it kind of added to the splotch. The mold kind of ate away the ink or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense, but I think it's a detail that kind of adds to the whole vibe. So here's some shots of how it looks finished, and I still would say that this is my favorite build that I've made. The interior, I've never painted an interior, nor have I detailed an interior, and I definitely have changed my mind. I kind of want to do that for some other things. It might be hard to reach on the existing boards, but maybe I can break them off and add that. So, all right, so thanks so much. There are a lot of exciting new projects that I have planned. I have a video coming out every Thursday, so if you feel like it, subscribe. Our free templates on Patreon. Join the Discord server. There's a lot of ways to get involved in the community. I really like meeting every single one of you, and and I just can't believe there's 600 subscribers now. That's incredible, and I'm really excited to what we have in the future. So yeah, I just really appreciate it. All right, have a good one.